All right, let's jump right in. We're going to talk about something called decentralized finance, or DeFi for short. Now, this isn't just some new app or a fleeting tech trend. No, what we're looking at here is a full-on attempt to build a brand new financial system from the ground up, entirely on the internet. It's a massive, ambitious idea that could seriously change how all of us think about money.
I mean, really think about it for a second. We live in an age of instant everything, right? So why does sending money, especially to another country, feel like it's completely stuck in the Stone Age? It can take days, and the fees, they can be insane. It's a frustration we've all felt, and it really points to a much deeper crack in the foundation of our current financial world.
So to really get why DeFi is such a potential game changer, we first have to peel back the curtain on the system it's trying to replace. Let's take a quick look at how traditional finance, the world of banks and institutions we use every single day, actually works under the hood.
And this right here, this diagram, gets to the heart of the problem. You see, every time you send money or make a trade, you're not just dealing with your bank. That transaction has to bounce through this whole chain of middlemen, other banks, payment processors, clearinghouses. Each one is a gatekeeper. And you know what gatekeepers do? They add time, they add complexity, and yep, they take a slice of the pie.
But as frustrating as the cost and the speed are, they might not even be the biggest failure of the current system. That might be this number. According to the World Bank, 1.7 times billion adults around the world are unbanked. That means they have zero access to even basic financial services. They're just completely locked out of the global economy. And this is where DeFi comes crashing into the picture. The idea here isn't to just slap a Band-Aid on the old system. Nope. It's about building a radical alternative, a completely new set of financial rails that are open to anyone, anywhere in the world, as long as they have an internet connection.
I love this quote from an expert at the University of Chicago Booth School of Business because it perfectly frames the situation. It's a classic David versus Goliath story. You've got the Goliath of traditional finance. It's huge, it's powerful, it's been around forever. And then you have DeFi, this smaller, scrappy David showing up to completely change the rules of the fight.
And that really gets to the core difference, right? It's a tale of two totally different philosophies. Traditional finance is centralized. It's controlled by a few powerful institutions, and it's permissioned, meaning you need their approval to play. DeFi just flips that whole script. It's decentralized, so no one's in charge. It's permissionless, so anyone can use it. And it's all built to run at the speed of the internet.
So you might be asking, okay, how is any of this even possible? Well, the secret sauce is something called a smart contract. The best way to think about it is like a super smart digital vending machine. Instead of needing a lawyer or a banker to oversee an agreement, the rules of the deal, say for a loan, are just written into code. Once the conditions are met, boom, the contract executes itself, automatically. No middlemen, no waiting for paperwork.
And the difference this makes in the real world is just staggering. Look at this. On the left, you've got a traditional trade. It's this messy, complicated web of paperwork, faxes, banks, inspectors. It's just a nightmare. On the right, using a shared public ledger called a blockchain, all those people can connect directly. All that complexity just melts away. Okay, so it's faster, it's cleaner, that's great. But maybe the most profound promise DeFi holds, the really human side of this, is its potential to finally achieve true financial inclusion, to bring those 1.7 billion unbanked people into the modern economy. And hey, this isn't some pie-in-the-sky theory. The data is screaming this at us. Look at where DeFi is exploding in emerging economies. A massive chunk of that growth, more than half of all DeFi transactions, is coming from Central and Southeast Asia and Oceania. It turns out, where the need is greatest, people are grabbing these tools and running with them.
So what does that actually mean for someone on the ground? It means that, for the very first time, somebody with just a basic smartphone can get access to financial tools that used to be only for the rich. They can get a microloan to start a business without ever stepping foot in a bank. They can send money home to their family without losing a huge chunk of it to fees. It's like putting the power of an entire bank right in their pocket.
And the impact gets incredibly real, especially in a crisis.
This is the UN treasurer talking about using stablecoins. Think of them as digital dollars to get humanitarian aid into Ukraine. When time is critical and you absolutely have to know the money got to the right person, these new tools are proving their worth. They make sure the help gets where it's needed, right now.
But, of course, it's not all sunshine and roses. With any powerful new technology, there are going to be some serious risks. Building a whole new financial system out in the open, live, is an amazing experiment, but man, it is also a messy and sometimes very dangerous one. It's the Wild West.
And to put a number on that risk, how about this one? $600 million. In 2021, that's how much hackers stole from a single DeFi service called the Poly Network. See, when you remove all the gatekeepers, you also remove a lot of the safety nets. Innovation moves at lightning speed, but so does the potential for catastrophic failure. Now you can imagine this creates a massive headache for governments and regulators everywhere. They're caught in this incredible bind. On one hand, they have to protect people from scams and hacks. But on the other hand, how do you do that without totally crushing the innovation that makes DeFi so promising in the first place? It's a really delicate tightrope to walk, which all boils down to the billion-dollar question for this whole space, doesn't it? Can we actually have the best of both worlds? Is it possible to build a system that's open and permissionless, but also safe, secure, and trustworthy enough for everyday people to use? The answer to that question, however it shakes out, is literally going to define the future of money for all of us. Because whether we've noticed it or not, the lines between that old financial world and this new one are already starting to get really, really blurry. So where's this all headed? Well, a lot of experts see a kind of three-step process playing out. Step 1 already happened. DeFi showed up as the disruptive challenger. Right now, we're deep into Step 2, where the big traditional players are starting to adopt the technology. And the likely destination? Step 3, a future of hybrid systems that blend the trust and scale of the old world with the speed and openness of the new. And you know what? This isn't some sci-fi prediction. It's happening as we speak. Visa, one of the biggest names in payments, is already connecting its massive network to these new digital dollars. And get this, 80% of the world's central banks are already exploring or building their own digital currencies. The merger has already begun. So that leaves us with one final big idea to chew on. For our entire lives, a bank has been a building, right? A physical place, an institution. But as these two worlds collide and merge, the very definition of a bank is up for grabs. So the real question for our future is this: will your next bank be a building you walk into or a blockchain you connect to?